Hi everyone, I'm Walker Kamak. I'm the new director of the Living Lab here at the Smokey House Center in Danby, Vermont. The Living Lab is our new keystone program that's intended to use the 5,000 acres here that is Smokey House of forest and farmland to conduct applied research and demonstration around progressive farming and forestry practices and different land management techniques, with the purpose of really trying to at least contribute to solutions around big questions like how land managers can play a role in combating climate change, to farm viability in our region. And while these are really big global and regional issues, we really want to conduct this work in a way where we are being directly informed by our local land managers. So the folks who have the most intimate knowledge of the landscapes around us, who have been farming and doing forest management in our region for a long time. And the goal of this is to help solve some of those global issues, but while at the same time securing benefits to our local communities directly around us here in Danby, Vermont and beyond. So over time, as we do more research and demonstration, the goal is that if you look across Smokey House, you'll really see a mosaic of different viable land uses and land practices here in the region that can provide sort of demonstration and a roadmap for other land managers to mimic these different practices. And to stay true to the past uses here at Smokey House and initiatives at Smokey House, youth education will be incorporated throughout all of this work. So we'll be bringing young people here to participate in this research and in experimenting and trialing these new practices. And through that work, they'll get to connect with these researchers that are coming from all over to Smokey House. So young people will be, while at once forming a connection with this place, with Smokey House and this landscape, they'll also, through that work, be sort of getting a view into the greater world that Smokey House is a part of. So we're really excited to get this all going this year, and stay tuned for some of the projects that we've got going on.
My name is Andrea Michaelbust, and I work here at the Smokey House Center in Danby, Vermont. We are standing in front of one of our research fields this year. This is a crop of textile hemp. We're growing 2 different varieties of fiber hemp here at Smokey House this summer, working in partnership with the University of Vermont to try to develop some best practices for local and regional growers in raising this crop to create a natural local fiber supply. The other portion of this field below us is planted in about 1/3 of an acre of flax. We are growing a variety that was developed by the University of Oregon, and this is actually our 4th year growing flax at Smokey House Center. The first year that we're really raising this project up and making it a strong focus of some of the work that we're doing here. In addition to the work that we're doing here, growing these plants, learning how to harvest them, how to process them into spinnable fiber, we're also thinking about the other stages of the process, including how this material can be of benefit to local farmers, how we can work towards ways of improving the infrastructure that we have available to us locally to process this fiber, both spinning it into threads and weaving it into cloth, and every step of the way. So there's a big layer of education in what we're doing. These materials, even though they're some of the oldest textile materials known to humanity, have become very unfamiliar to the majority of people just in a few generations, as the knowledge and the awareness of them as crops has disappeared. So part of what we're doing is trying to reinvigorate some traditions that have been around for a very long time, but also look forward into the future.
So one of the first initiatives that we'll be getting off the ground here at the Living Lab, is a 3-year project focused on jumpstarting a grassroots propagation industry for forest botanical planting stock. That program is in partnership with folks at the Forest School at the Yale School of the Environment and is funded by a USDA Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education grant. So forest botanicals are native plants that grow in the understory of our forests, and they're really ecologically valuable, but they're also valued by people for either medicinal properties or for culinary purposes. So the plants that we're focusing on are ginseng, golden seal, black cohosh, Solomon seal, bloodroot, and ramps. So these large markets for these either culinary purposes or medicinal uses have created a lot of demand on these wild populations that's resulted in overharvesting. So these crops through decades have really been reduced across their native range because of that overharvesting. So what we're looking to do is promote this practice called forest farming, which can be used as a tool to combat that reduction in these plants' range. So forest farming is the practice of actually stewarding or cultivating these native plants in our forest understories. And the grant that we've got now here at Smokey House is building off of 3 years of work that I helped do with folks at the Yale School of the Environment, focused on creating the Northeast Forest Farmers Coalition, which is really a coalition of people in the region interested in getting forest farming adopted by folks here. And what we've learned through that work is that there are a lot of people in the Northeast who want to forest farm. They want to plant these plants in their woods, but they don't have the planting stock. They don't have the seeds or the roots to actually do so. So what this 3 years of work will focus on at Smokey House is doing planting trials to sort of figure out the best ways to grow planting stock, seeds and roots, the fastest and most efficient way that will also be economically viable for the people who are creating these nurseries in our region. So we'll be conducting trials on best growing practices in a nursery setting for all of those plants that I mentioned. And the other side of this will be more public-facing outreach and education, where we'll be working with people to actually start growing these plants in these systems on their own. And all of this work will really prioritize working with BIPOC land managers and community members in the Northeast. And this is just the start of it. So we're really excited to get it off the ground here in 2023. So stay tuned.